But we damn sure do. One of the things that constantly happens is mainstream media trying to make inroads into Fox News viewers. Case in point, do you remember when Rush Limbaugh was added to Monday Night Football despite how problematic he was racially? Remember that? They were trying to court those right-wing nut jobs at Fox. They wanted them to come on over. They wanted them to just come on. They were trying to sanitize hatred and bigotry and racism. You could not have been more racist than Rush Limbaugh. But yet they tried him on Monday Night Football. They tried it with Roseanne Barr. Remember when they brought her back, as problematic as she was? And they ended up firing her because she was so racist, they kicked her off her own show. They tried to because they want to sanitize hatred and racism, to make it normal, to normalize it. You don't have to look much further than Megyn Kelly. As racist and problematic as she was, she got a daytime talk show on where? NBC. Now CNN's turn, as witnessed by the debacle last night, the Trump pep rally, I call it. Now, interestingly enough, Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon were fired about the same time. We know that Donald Trump, for years, since 2016, refused to go on CNN. Matter of fact, he called it fake news, and he would shout out reporters. Remember, he got April Ryan death threats because he talked about her so bad. Remember how many reporters, CNN reporters, used to be almost get assaulted and get death threats at Trump rallies? Remember them? Now, all of a sudden, it is the first place he goes to after he is convicted, after a jury finds him liable for sexual battery and defamation. The first place he goes, it is the first network he goes to, outlet he goes to, after, the Proud Boys have been convicted of sedition. It is the first place. And we know this for sure. Donald Trump never goes anywhere unless he has an advantage. Never. He doesn't go anywhere. He's refusing to be in the Republican debate because he knows that he doesn't have an advantage. When they had the documents argument, he wanted to select the special master. He never goes anywhere unless he has the advantage. That's why he went to CNN. He knew they would do what he wanted them to. Now, Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson left at the same time. And we know why Tucker Carlson left. I defy you to tell me and articulate why Don Lemon left, why he was let go, why they parted ways. Now, allegedly, he drew the ire of a lot of people when he intimated, when Nikki Haley made her announcement, and she intimated that Joe Biden was past his prime and there need to be mental aptitude tests, ageism. And he pushed back and he said, well, some people would think that you're past your prime. That was supposed to have drawn the ire. He didn't get fired for that. Then later on, he is arguing with someone supposedly running for president, a conservative running for president, extolling the virtues of the NRA and their involvement in the civil rights movement. He pushed back on that, and he's gone. That was a pep rally last night. Now, was that pep rally? Was it spearheaded? Was it narrated? Was it hosted by one of the women who were so angry at Don Lemon for saying that they were past their prime? Nope. It was a fresh-faced young girl. And that fresh-faced young girl, Caitlin Collins, she was just from the fringes of the internet. She used to work for Tucker Carlson at the Daily Caller. The fringes of the internet. The fringes of the internet. Where stuff like Joe Biden being in the pocket of China, or pedophiles at pizza places, or Hillary Clinton in a pedophile, all that stuff. She worked for Tucker Carlson at the Daily Caller. A 30-year-old girl, she didn't come from a hollowed, experience. She wasn't ballyhooed. She came from the internet, and all of a sudden she got to host the ex-president of the United States at a town hall meeting. Conveniently, right after that president had just been convicted or just been held liable for sexual battery. Did she ask any of these tough questions that some of these other seasoned reporters would have? Like when Donald Trump said, well, gas prices got down to $1.89, which is true. But do you know why they got down to $1.89? Because he so inaptly handled the COVID epidemic that no one was using gas. No one worked. No one went to school. Nobody took vacations. Everything was closed. The world shut down. So, of course, gas was low. When he talked about pardoning people, do you know right now Proud Boys have been convicted of sedition, something that hasn't been used since the 1800s. Those are the people you're going to pardon? And while we're at it, you lost the election because of you so ineptly handle COVID. Does bleach still cure COVID, or sunlight? And when you talked about you didn't know any of these women, the woman who had accused you, there have been dozens of people who made these allegations, including some people right now, some of the young women who are in your cabinet right now, who told Mark Meadows you were sexually inappropriate. Right now, today. Right now, today. That was a pep rally. They did it on purpose because they want to court and they want to sanitize hatred, bigotry, and ineptitude. Donald Trump being taken seriously right 3 years after he just tried to overthrow the government, telling you that, he's going to pardon these people, telling you how great a job he's in. We're talking about immigration. You're going to put kids back in cages. Nobody asked him anything like that. Nobody said, do you feel, when they ask about him and the documents, we know that you can't summarily just decide to make them unclassified because you say so. If you did, this would be over. We know that Joe Biden told on himself. Mike Pence told on himself. Those people told on themselves. You had to be subpoenaed a couple of times, and you're still lying. And you have people that right now are testifying for this investigation on you right now. You haven't articulated one thing you would do for the public. This is a revenge tour. And they did it. They did it because they want to court and sanitize hatred and bigotry. When would Donald Trump have ever been on CNN unless he had the advantage? You take a 30-year-old woman, fresh from the fringes of the internet, to be taken seriously and call that journalism? You've done what corporations always tried to do, from Rush Limbaugh and his hateful ass to Megyn Kelly and her hateful ass. Now, this CNN's variation of that. You think that you're going to give us Gayle King and Charles Barkley and that'll suffice? No. You're courting evil. You're courting racial hatred. You're courting bigotry, and you're trying to normalize it. And the truth of the matter is that Don Lemon would have said something about that. He would have pushed back. The truth of the matter is that Colin Kaepernick got fired because he knelt, and Don Lemon got fired because he stood. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.